In today's video, we're building another set for Smash Cake Photography, and we're going to show you how to do it step by step. Hello again, everybody. My name is Daniel Troutman with the SmashCake.com, and today I'd like to welcome you into our studio here in beautiful downtown Albany, Oregon. Now, today we are going to go ahead and build a set from start to finish, and we're going to make all of the decisions for a real deal set. This is a set that's commissioned by actual customers, and we're going to go ahead and make all of the creative decisions with you guys watching over our shoulders today. And we're also going to show you where we get our props, how to deal with the idiosyncrasies that come with certain props, and basically how to build a Smash Cake Photography set from start to finish. So if that sounds like fun, let's just go ahead and dive right in. And before we do, consider a thumbs up. If there's anything that you get out of today's video at any point, please feel free to just slam that thumbs up button, because that really does help us. Now, as I said, let's get into the set build. Today's background is kind of an abstract repeating pattern tree background that we got from Amazon.com. Now, it's a 10 by 10, and those of you who've watched our last video on how to choose the right backdrop for your photo shoot, you'll know that when using a 10 by 10 and shooting Smash Cake Photography, well, we like to have repeating backgrounds or abstracts, because if you have elements of, say, a regular scenic, well, those scenics are made for adults that are standing upright, and a lot of the imagery that appears in the scenic when you photograph a child sitting down will simply not appear behind the child. So we always, whenever possible, like to choose a background like today's, where we have a bunch of trees and they are in a random kind of repeating pattern, almost abstract. And that is simply because when we sit the child down on the ground, they will always have some trees behind them. Now, like I said, this is from Amazon. It is a 10 by 10 background, and I think it cost us in the neighborhood of about $50. And of course, I'm linking everything below in the description section, so at any time during this video you see something you like, well, you can just scroll down and click on an Amazon affiliate link, and you will be transported to that listing immediately, and you can buy the same backdrop that we use today. Now, after we pick out the background, what we always like to do is pick out a floor that matches and kind of sells the idea that the background is real-ish. And so today we decided to look for AstroTurf because, well, we wanted some cartoony grass to match the cartoony outdoory background, and we wanted something that was easy cleanup and reusable. And that, of course, would be AstroTurf. I mean, you just spray it off with a hose and Bob's your uncle, the thing is clean. But unfortunately, when you go to Home Depot and Lowe's and you want to buy that AstroTurf that they have on the giant roll, to get enough to actually do anything useful for a Smash Cake set is going to run you anywhere between $350 and $500. And that was way outside of our budget. Fortunately, I went ahead and cruised the aisles in Lowe's while I was just killing some time, and I found these little 6x8 green indoor-outdoor, what they call eco rugs. And they're basically cartoony AstroTurf that you could clean off with a hose, and it's everything I wanted, but it was only in a 6x8 sheet. So what I decided to do to save a whole lot of money is I decided to buy 4 of these things and then tape them together from underneath. And that was a little tricky, but we kind of developed, we got into the groove, so to speak, and we were able to do it pretty quickly, and in the process saving ourselves a ton of money. Now, when it was all said and done, it was very obvious that there are still some seams that are visible on the top side. I mean, no matter how well you tape them together, that's just how it's going to be. So what we ended up doing later in editing, of course, was using Photoshop to go ahead and just take those seams out. And they came out quickly and beautifully. And in the final image, you simply won't even notice that anything was there. So I highly encourage anybody who's looking for AstroTurf to do it this way. Deal with the tape, deal with editing the seams out, because it's much easier to store in the long run. So definitely go hit Lowe's and look for the Eco Rug. All right, at this point of the build, we've got our floor, we've got our background, and that's 75–80% of the actual set. So here comes the fun part. Let's talk props. Now, the first prop that we're going to be using today is the bear basket, which was featured in our little video on 5 cheap and easy props that every Smash Cake photographer should be using. And if you haven't seen that video, well, it's going to pop up right there. And then go ahead and click that. You'll be transported to that video, and you will see the video that features today's #1 prop, which is the bear basket. Now, the bear basket is exactly what it sounds like. It is a basket full of bears, and there's really not a whole lot to it. So we just got this giant basket, and then we had to put something in the bottom of the basket in order to kind of elevate the bears and get them up where they needed to be. And today I just decided to take the empty cases that my lights travel in and just jam it in the bottom of that wicker basket, put a blanket on top, and then set the bears on top of that. And it worked like an absolute charm. Now, the next thing that we're going to need is a bunch of vines or a bunch of clutter in the background to basically hide the seam where the background meets the floor. And that's where a lot of these old vines come in. And I can source these at Goodwill. I can source these at Hobby Lobby. I like to get them at Goodwill because they're super cheap over there. If you go to Hobby Lobby and you're not using a coupon, well, just, yeah, I'm sorry. So unless, of course, you have a coupon, you can get them 50% off, then great. They're a little more cost effective. But I like to hit Goodwill and find these guys and then just throw them in the dishwasher. Now, the next prop we're using today is a prop that we use anytime we're doing a camping or a lumberjack set, anytime we're doing a Pacific Northwest themed anything. These logs always come out of the basement, and they are brilliant because they look kind of like a real log, and they're also kind of cartoony, so it really fits that kind of baby-ish look. You know, they look semi-real, and my favorite part about these logs is that they store flat. You pop them back into shape, you put the top and the bottom on there, and they are super sturdy. Okay, there's no way that the child is going to hurt themselves on this log because it's all felt on the outside, and they're super sturdy. And to prove that, I went ahead and sat on one of them. I am, for the record, 6'5", 230 pounds. I'm working on it. I'd like to be less, but I'm 230 at the moment. I'm 6'5". I can sit on one of these things and it will not collapse. So it's completely safe for the baby. It's got a fantastic look, and they're extremely affordable. Now, the next component of today's set is a giant tent, and it was actually requested by the client. Now, I love using these tents. I have had this tent for many, many years, and it has appeared in so many Smash Cake sets, and it has made me a ton of money. But the reason I love these tents is because every child under the sun will get inside the tent and play peekaboo with me from the other side of the tent flap, and I get some amazing pictures when that happens. And of course, that just ups my sales average. So I love these little $50 tents because they raise my sales average, and because they take up so much real estate in the frame. You really can use less props when you're using something this large. The next item that we're using on today's set is a wooden crate. And I own about 5 or 6 of these because they always appear in my Smash Cake sessions. Now, if I'm doing a lumberjack or a camping or a western or a farm theme, of course, the wooden crate is going to make an appearance. That makes sense. But they also make an appearance when I'm doing unicorn-themed sets because all I have to do is put it in the back of my set and cover it up with a white glittery fabric, and bam, it's no longer a wooden crate. Now it's a white glittery mountain that I can stack other props on and get my props higher in the frame and create a more dynamic image. And all I had to do was simply cover a very useful wooden crate with a piece of very pretty fabric. So, like I said, I have about 5 or 6 of these, and on some of my sets, I will use them all. So definitely take a look at the wooden crates if you don't have some already. Now, the rest of the props that we're going to be using today are just little lamps that we picked up at Goodwill. Anytime you're out at an estate sale, a garage sale, look for little things like this and just pick them up. You know, maybe you'll spend $2 or $3 and then put them in your basement. But what we find is that we might not use these little odds and ends for a couple of years, and then we use them for 6 straight sessions. And we are so glad that we had them, because oftentimes what makes or breaks a Smash Cake session is just the little odds and ends that you hide and nestle in the back of your frame. So always be on the lookout at Goodwill and estate sales and yard sales for little lamps and baubles like the ones we're using today. Now, the next 2 props were homemade props that we featured again in that video about 5 cheap and easy props that every Smash Cake photographer needs to be using. And those props are the fake present as well as the banner. Now, we decided ultimately after playing with the burlap banner that we wanted to go with a black and red checkered banner because we felt that that fit what the client was looking for just a little bit better. Now, the very last thing that I add to every smash cake set is, of course, the cake stand. Now, you never want to just put the cake on the floor, and you never want to rely on mom and dad to bring you a cake stand that's going to match the set that you spent so much time creating. So I always like to purchase some cake stands, and I do it from the smashcake.com. There's a massive selection of cake stands over there, and you can crawl all over Amazon if you want, but you're gonna lose hours of your life. So you might as well let us do the hard work. Check out the smashcake.com, because they are Amazon links. You're buying from a familiar retailer, but all the work has been done for you. And that is where we get our cake stands. Now, here's the thing about cake stands. Here's a little pro tip. What I like to do the day of the shoot is I literally take 2 cake stands out of the basement that I would like to use. It literally does not matter which one, because they both look great. I leave them on the set. And the day of the shoot, mom and dad will walk in, and I will specifically ask mom and dad, I will tell them, I can't decide between cake stands. Which one do you prefer? And moms and dads love having input. They love feeling part of the process. And yes, it's a bit tricky, I'm being kind of, but here's the thing. What you need to do immediately is let them know you're on their side, okay? They have input in the shoot, because these photos are for them. And anytime you guys can be on the same team, you're going to create better images together. Well, okay, that's pretty much everything you need to build our Barely One set. The background, the props, the flooring, all of it. And if you want to actually see us shoot on today's set, well, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button right there. And when we do shoot the client on the set, we're doing a behind the scenes video. And by clicking that bell notification, you will be the first to know when that video goes live. Now, if you're looking for more videos, well, of course, we have some over here where we've done all sorts of smash cake amazingness over the last few weeks and months. And all you have to do is just binge watch those till your heart is content. So until next time, guys, I'm Daniel Troutman with smashcake.com. I want to thank you all very much for watching. And I'm going to get out of here and get back to work. And I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.